Hi, KOG here. I'm here to I'm making this video for those who have watched what my thing on the what's going to happen to 50/50 because things are changing. Yeah. Uh, Whatever I have told you in the original video, my view hasn't changed much. My prediction shouldn't have changed much. Uh, for those who are new here, I basically only look at the business facts. I didn't look into what people said, what is wrong, right, morality. I didn't even, it wasn't who said what, because I don't trust any of it, especially when there's a conflict, um, especially in entertainment business. So I only look at business side of it. Attract seems very not very capable. They didn't protect themselves well enough. Um, uh, yeah, and they just it was checked by number one or two, probably best accounting firm in Korea. Willingly, they opened up everything they had, so that uh, so that they could evaluate the company. They just look through everything to see what kind of investment they can get. Now, no one else can do this unless you are willing to open up everything you have. Uh, no one else. I mean, but when you get evaluated by a company accounting firm, um, you you are willingly showing everything you got, and you have to show everything, all the positives and all the negatives and all the contracts, everything you have, and that's why I mean that's the job of these accounting firms. So uh, I don't have all the information, but they did. But they deemed Attract not fit for investment, so they didn't get any money. Givers were, however, the company who are trying to steal this company, let's say, well, they're good enough to get the money. So, yeah, I said, when you have a team that is known worldwide and, hitting, top 50 or whatever, and your company is still not fit for investment, that's you got to be doing something really, really not good. You know what I'm saying? It just as a businessman, I'm just all I'm saying is I look at it and go, oh my man, that's not right. I mean, how badly were you prepared such that you were fit? That's all I said because it's a fact. It's not my personal feeling or anything. It's just a factual thing that they were deemed unfit. That's all I'm saying. So now, at the end of the at the end, I explained how I felt. I said, "Was this right?" And I clearly said no, uh, because stealing is stealing, right? Of course, you didn't protect it right, but was this necessary for these guys, the 50/50, the ladies? And I said probably, you know, because think about it, you're in a group, and you got famous all over around the world. You'll be making music video for, um, Barbie, and your company can't even get any investment, while the company you worked with, everything else, who did everything else, who put them together, who got the songs from, who trained them, and did everything else. Well, they're getting all the money, and they're probably being told that too, saying, "Hey, well, what are you guys gonna do? They got no more money. There's no way to make money. They can't even get investments, man. So you want to come to us? We got investment just now, thanks to you guys." I mean, yeah. I mean, they probably felt like, "Oh man, this is a sinking ship. I gotta get out." Probably. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, so that's what happened. And I thought that'll be it because there's almost nothing you can do to stop this because contract is not a slave. It's not a slave document. You are able to get out of any contract. Of course, you have to pay uh, the punishment or reprimand, whatever that's given to you, probably in money. Uh, the negative, the money they lost, track lost due to these ladies. They had to, right? So that's all I said too. Just these ladies would have to get out. They would have to pay for the whatever thing. But I think the contract was about like a certain percentage or some part of what they would have made for the company or something like that, right? But they weren't making that money, so I said, they're not making that money yet, so they should be able to get out without paying that much money. So if you're gonna get out, this is the time. So that's what the ladies did. That's what the company. But what has changed all this is public emotions or public consensus has changed. This doesn't happen very often, but in Korea, Korean people are very emotional, and it's not a negative thing. It's just what it is. Um, when everybody loves to hate somebody, and everybody loves to love somebody in Korea. When public consensus in a certain way, laws can change, rules can be broken, to either reward or punish certain people. And I'm fortunate for 50-50. This arrow is directed towards them now. I think I start to see it when they start to talk. I think the argument was that the first time, even YouTubers or people in general, they weren't that negative about this. They're like, oh, I don't know, whatever. It was treated like just any other happening. But suddenly there was this thing about what is gonna, if they're able to do this, get out and go to some other company, what small to medium companies, but actually it works for the big companies too, what would they do? Why would they invest in these young people and make them idols if they can get out as soon as they start to make money, and it is okay to steal them? And then the next step was, if they let you let these guys do that, it's gonna kill K-pop or Hallyu, because no other smaller companies would create idols, because they, as soon as they get a hit song or something, they'll all get out and go to another company who has more money, and this will basically kill all the will be detrimental to the entertainment business as a whole, and the so-called soft power of Korea will be hurt. Now, when these statesmen were, just, it starts to pop up here and there, but then it suddenly started to dominate. Now, I do not know if it was natural or it was done by people in entertainment business, because it is themselves who they are protecting, and they know everybody in entertainment and media, right? Including news, whatever. They have far-reaching relations with these people, and suddenly the whole thing changed. Everybody starts singing the same song. This shouldn't be they're evil and they shouldn't be allowed to do this and how terrible these people are. Now, and when this happens in Korea, that's a very very bad thing. It just you you can't come back. True false doesn't matter. If this happens, it is very difficult to even live in Korea. It's that's just how it is. Now all I can tell you guys is that I understand why this is a thing in Korea. Korean people, the so-called average normal people, there's for so long there were so much unfairness, and there's this deep-rooted anger within them that they were getting the wrong, the short end of the stick all their lives. And for example, like going to the army duties, it's one of the things that Koreans are very emotional about, because they feel like the part of their youth has been taken away. But because it was so unfair, when I first got here about 30 years ago, I noticed that kids from rich families or powerful families or like who's who families, none of their kids went to army. They found a way. Their uncle's friend is a army general or something, or doctor. They'll find a way. Like all the congressmen's kids, they didn't go. It says so many didn't go to army. I mean, it was like a known thing, and people there was such a deep anger towards that, and I mean they can't hate everybody, and they cannot punish everybody, right? But when this Korean public starts to move, when people they all get together and try to destroy someone or just they want to show everyone that this shouldn't be done, and it's never ending. It is really really hateful. So because there has been so much corruption in the past, not much anymore, but they're just it's like social justice, and many Koreans feel that they have to do with their own hands. That's why they're able to kick out just a while ago, they kicked out a president. They just all walked out and said, get out. No violence needed. They just peacefully just get the hell out. And she got kicked out. So there's much positivity to it, but there's also certain negativity to it. But all I can tell you is why it is there and how powerful it can be. I mean, they changed laws, or they made laws to punish one person. I mean, that person probably deserved it, but the important, I'm not here to judge anybody, but all I'm saying is they made a law that only affects one person and lasts like 40 years or something, 30 years or something, 20, 30 years, just for that person. Now, guiding principle and what laws mean and what of law is that you cannot punish somebody retroactively. It's it's like math, like there's plus, you add something, negative, minus. It's just one of those laws that you have to keep, but they just made up a law to just punish one person. I mean, that's how strong this power is in positive ways. Now 2002 Korean soccer team, they placed fourth in World Cup. World Cup Japan Korea / Korea Korea / Japan. Now, I mean, everybody was so happy, and so everyone in the roster who played the game or not, they all didn't have to go to army. They were pardoned. People felt they deserved some stuff because number one, uh, they, like marketing wise, the Korea was shown to the world in a positive light. Then they had like a certain amount of economic value effect on Korea as a whole. So they have done national service. So even the rule says that you have to be win a medal in like Olympics and stuff. It only applies to those people, and there was nothing, no law or nothing said about World Cup. They didn't have to go to army. That's what people thought, and they pushed for it. And I think they worked at like a presidential pardon or that type of a deal. They just said, okay, they don't have to go. That's it. They passed it, and that was it. Now, so it works in a positive way to reward people in a negative way. Now, is it always fair? I feel like sometimes it is used to make example of certain things so that other people wouldn't try, or it's a very strong social justice type of a deal, and everybody becomes like a detective, and I mean the whole it feels like whole country moves to do something, and I feel like that type of machinery is starting to work on these guys, uh, and it's a thing to hate on this group and everything related with this incident. All the YouTubers, everybody starts singing the same song, and everybody goes and watch it and likes it, and that just moves the whole thing in a certain way. And sometimes all I'm saying is it can't even uh, out. Uh, yeah, sometimes you can trump um, facts or fairness or whatever. It just you know, but they're willing to make an example out of these ladies. This incident. So that's all I wanted to tell you guys. That's what is happening. Now, is it right, fair for these ladies or not, or because similar thing happened before, and that was a national thing. But these guys are okay. All I'm saying is it's very emotional. It can't be all fair. I know that this type of Korean feeling of justice or this consensus thing has a positive side, but there are also negative side because it's sometimes unfair. For example, I think BTS has affected a whole lot more than the soccer team. The positivity they've shown around the world about Koreans or Korean culture, or how many people have came to Korea because of because the economic effect of BTS is probably bigger, and more people love these guys than a few soccer players, and it's gonna last longer. So if you're just looking at the merits as in numbers, BTS shouldn't go to army either, right? So when emotion and feeling goes into something, uh, things change. It can't be 100% fair because some people are emotional about certain things and some people aren't. It's just how it is. So the company called Givers, who are about to take these, who train these guys and who are gonna, I think that company it's the end of the line for that company because like all these people are coming out and saying things like they'll never work with that company. Writers, singers, technicians, musicians. Everybody's saying, they'll be ostracized and nobody will ever work with them. And now I'll pay for or I'll support the track the president because he's a saint. And they'll say it just goes nuts. And it's I don't think givers can take these ladies in because, well, unless they want to move out of Korea, because it would be probably almost impossible to function as a company and as a team. It might be actually a bad idea to pick up these ladies at this point in time. Um, yeah, and again, all I'm saying is, and the givers, I don't, I don't think they're evil company, but just an average bad company, terrible company. Because companies are terrible. They all think about money, you know. It, you think Samsung, LG didn't gobble up small companies or take the deals using their power? I've seen plenty. How about Exxon, uh, Microsoft, Apple? Really? You know how it's a cold, cold world out there, and I'm just saying they're average in being, you know, immoral. Probably seems like. But anyway, as far as these four ladies are concerned, I think they're pretty nice ladies. I still think so. You know why? Because when the whole country becomes a detective, and I haven't heard that much bad things about these ladies personally, because you know you become almost like a online star, or like you'll be the news if you come out and said, you know, she was such a terrible, you know, she was a bully, or she took my money, or she beat me up, or she was such a terrible person. She's such, you know, one of these four ladies are really, she's a scheming and money grabbing, you know, biatch. You know, I can't, I experienced her terribleness when I was young or something. I mean, you would think those things will come out. You know, when this machinery start to roll, everything will come out. Anything and everything will come out. But not much has came out. So I'm thinking that they can't be that bad. But anyway, it's really sad. If I were them, uh, there's no way to work with. I think it's all broken. They can't stay and attract. It'll be difficult to get into givers. Even if they go in, they probably have to either function out of Korea. Uh, if I was just a consultant consulting them, I would tell them, you know what, you have to get out. That's best you could do. Get out and sign with another company, uh, non-Korean company who would be willing to pick them up, and and work outside of Korea. Will be the only and the best way for their sanity, and business wise the same thing too. But I believe that wouldn't be easy either. So anyway, I hope somehow this, you know, just things come down a little bit, and so that they'll find their way. But right now, I just feel like that the Korean public justice thing has kicked in, and it's a scary force. It's scary, man. It just and I hope, as a Korean, American, but also Korean, I would like to tell you guys, it also has a very positive side to it, but it just does exist. You know, like during our IMF, you know, Korean economy was in shambles. The first thing Korean people did was, there was public thing like, let's save the country, and everybody came out and not lend or sell, they gave gold, whatever gold they had, to the government. They just gave it away in the worst of the times. You know, you should. I said, well, normally you should keep it, so you can use that money to survive this hardship, right? They gave it back to the country, so that's why Korea is the only country who were able to get out of it. That kind of mentality saved the country from, basically a country going bankrupt in only a couple of years or something like that. And yeah, when huge tanker, oil tanker, just it went under in the western seaboard. Well, probably similar sizes. What happened to Exxon Valdez? That probably took 10, 20 years. I think Koreans cleaned that thing up in like a couple of years because people just literally drove there and they just wiped it with cloth. They wiped it clean. Not they didn't like work a day or two. They just everybody went there and cleaned it up, and they cleaned it up. So yeah, that's a Korean thing, and it also works in these cases where like everybody start to hate them, and it's at an early stage, but I feel like if it kicks in, it's gonna get difficult for these ladies. Yeah, I just want to tell you guys, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.